Hello guys, my name is Aviation Lovers with Bonnie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. Today, I want to talk to you about the aptitude test, the aptitude test that we did in Nairobi. Yeah, so apparently, I applied for this job called Aeronautical Information Management. That is under the Annex 15 of ICAO, which is Aeronautical Information Services. So these are basically aeronautical information that we provide to navigators such as pilots as they move. Yeah, so I applied for that job and I was called for the interview because I think they thought that I qualified. I'm one of the people that was called for the interview. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you the tests that we were given in form of aptitude tests and what was the implication and how the results will be determined. Yeah, so and I know you learned something from that. So I learned that that test is not only given to Aeronautical Information Service officers, which is Aeronautical Information Management officers. It's given basically like in Kenya. Remember that I'm in Kenya. So it is actually done on various aviation professionals. For example, air traffic management officers. I have a friend we studied together who around 5 months ago, he attended that interview of air traffic controllers, and they were given the same test, exactly the same test. Yeah, so I'm going to explain to you everything. Yeah, so I'll start. So I was called for the interview. It was on a Wednesday. It was on a Wednesday or Thursday I was called, and the interview was 1 week later, which was on Wednesday the next week, which was now on the 31st of July. Yeah, so that 1st of July 2024. So I attended the interview in Nairobi. I prepared myself. I went 2 days before. I went and stayed in a friend's place. We prepared because he was also attending the interview. He was also called because we did the same course together of civil aviation management in Moi University. Yeah, so we were studying together. And when we arrived at the East Africa School of Aviation, which is the school of Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority is the body that controls, regulates the aviation operations in Kenya, and it also provides air navigation services such as radar services, air traffic services, and everything. And it also trains personnel. So East Africa School of Aviation is the school owned by Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and it uses it to train. So when I was attending the interview with my other colleagues, we were going there as trainees. So they'll recruit us and then they'll train us. So on this day, we attended the interview. The interview was not the interview, sorry, the attitude test. The attitude test was to begin at 7:30, where they do checkings and everything. So by 8 it starts, and we were given a number of test questions. Yeah. So before these test questions, we did 5 tests, and we finished it at 4 in the evening, 4 p.m. And what the examiners were saying was that we are not testing your knowledge, we are testing how your brain works. That we know that they know that we have studied. Yes, we've done primary school, high school, and degrees, because they were recruiting degree people. So they say that yes, we know that you've done, and it was not only aviation management, aviation degrees that they were recruiting people from, even the electronics, something that was related to something that is related to management systems, because actually we are doing management systems. For example, surveying, GIS, people who've done GIS, people who've done electronics, electrical engineering, people like various fields that are related, that actually they can test like they, so that you are applicable, you can quickly adapt to that aviation environment. Yeah, so they were saying that they know that we've learned, and that's why we were highly qualified. That's why we were called. Because I remember, allow me to say something. I remember we applied almost 850 people, and we were called around 150. So you can see how serious the sieve was, how serious or strenuous the selection process was. You had to be highly fitting to the criteria that were provided, and which I will provide at the end of this. Yeah, so they were just testing how our brain works, the fast, the speed, and the accuracy. So they were not actually testing how much we can finish all the questions, because some questions were provided, like 70 questions in 27 minutes. So you can see you have to be very fast and accurate. And at the same time, you don't have to do all the questions. You just have to do things that you are sure of. You know, as they are trying to, they say that they are trying to encourage people to do the right thing in the field, because in the aviation environment, errors are not tolerated. Safety, remember, safety is the priority number one thing. Like safety, you must be safe. So you don't have to guess anything. If you don't know, you leave it to the other person. So that's actually the criteria. Like you have to be accurate. The testing accuracy. You don't have to finish all the questions. You have to do the right ones, because again, let's say you are given 20 questions, you get 10 and you fail 10. Let's say you have done all of them. Then the result is 0 because they subtract. You get 10 and then you fail 10. So it is 10 minus 10, 0. That's why they're saying do only the ones that you know you are accurate. For example, let's say you've done 5, which you are sure of, and then you failed none. Then you have 5. You are better than this person who has done all of it. Let's say he has done 15 and he has failed maybe half of it. So 15 minus half, 8. So you're almost the same. So it's encouraged that you just do small amount, small number of questions, and as much as possible, but which you are accurate, in that small time frame that you are provided, because everything was small time. Some questions 20 minutes, you find 40 questions. Yeah. So let me give you. We did 5 tests, as I told you. So the first test that we did in the morning was matrices, and they are not complex matrices like the square ones that that you can Google and see. Because when you Google and see matrices, you will realize that it is the bigger ones. They have a number here, number here, number here, number here. So that one we are not doing that one. We are just doing the ones related to the brain, like the patterns, how the patterns are moving. The patterns, the movement of the patterns. So you can Google matrices. If you want to see that, you can check on YouTube. Matrices, you write the word matrices aptitude test. You will see those ones, those simple matrices. So that's the ones we are doing. And you remember questions were almost 40 and then around 15 minutes or something. So you remember you have to be accurate and fast. You have to think fast. So first of all, you have to go there, fresh mind. You don't have to have anything at the back of your mind. Very clear mind. You have to be happy. Make sure you are happy, and you are not overconfident. You are composed, and you are confident with yourself. Just confident, not overconfident, and then you are ready to do questions. And as long as you've done that question, move to the next. No time of repeating and repeating, because you have seconds. And make sure if you see something and you know that you determine fast that it is hard, leave it. Go to the next one. That's how it was done. So matrices, that was number 1, as you can see here. The second one was general science. Yeah, general science questions. So what's general science questions? General science questions are those questions like, for example, I'll give you example so that you can understand. How the world works. For example, the speed of light. At sea level, the speed of sound at sea level. A metal that reacts so fast with acid, which is magnesium in that matter. So those general science questions, about gravity, about melting points of something, conversion from Celsius to Celsius to Fahrenheit. Yeah. Absolute zero temperature, which is 277. Is it 277 degrees Fahrenheit or something? Yeah, so those things, general science questions. And if you want to practice that, you go to YouTube. General science questions, you'll get them. Yeah, so that's number 2. The first one is matrices. The second one is general science questions. Also, among the general science questions, we were asked like these things we studied in chemistry in high school. For example, you are given a compound, maybe magnesium sulfate, and maybe you are told if it is mixed with a particular base, for example, sodium hydrochloride, it produces which components, and then they have the answers there. So the good thing is they have answers A, B, C, D, E. Very simple. So you write A, and you are provided with a booklet. So you write A, B, C in those booklets. Yeah, and you are given how to write. Like you have to follow before you answer. Before we started sorry, let me go back a little. Before we started the tests, we were highlighted how the to answer the question. So you have to follow that. If you don't follow that, it's an automatic fail. Yeah. And one thing I didn't say as I proceed is that the tests were conducted by the Air Force. Yeah. So I was watching the videos of Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and in the past, around more than 10 years ago, they used to do the tests. But I think it reached somewhere. I think they were cheating or something. They didn't say, but I could determine why were they outsourcing. They outsourced a completely neutral party, which is the Kenya Air Force. So they outsourced their tests. So they outsourced them, and the Air Force is located just there near the airport. They're just neighbors to the same locality. And the tests are the ones that are always conducted on the aviation, on the military aviation. For example, the pilots, all those people, telecommunication officers in the airport, radar officers, everything in the Air Force. So they are the ones we do. And when I read the tests there, it was actually imported from the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom Air Force. UK Air Force. So the UK Air Force, they borrowed, remember in Kenya, we have borrowed many things from the UK, from the Britain, because they colonized us. The English were speaking, and also this test of the Kenya Air Force. So they borrowed there. So, and then they are given to the Kenya Air Force, and then the Air Force, they are doing it on their people, and then they brought it to us also. So we do this, and then they take their booklets. Yeah. And I learned that my friend who is an air traffic controller, they are training actually. They are training as air traffic controller. I realized that they did the same tests. Yeah, so it's generally in aviation, okay? Yeah. So the third tests that we did is maths knowledge, on maths knowledge, simple mathematics. For example, speed. You are given a distance and then the time. So calculate the speed. So general maths, simple maths. Yeah, many questions. Remember, there are many questions and small time. 15 minutes, 45 questions. So you have to do the right ones. Number one, the right ones that you need to assure. Number two, be very fast. Number three, follow the instructions, because if you miss on the instructions that were given on how to answer the questions, there are some specific details you have to do. And then you fail. It's an automatic fail. You can get a 0 simply for not following instructions. It's as simple as that. They are not testing the knowledge. They are testing your ability, how your mind is following instructions accuracy and as a person. Yeah. So that's the math knowledge. And then mechanical reasoning. That's number 4. The test number 4 was mechanical reasoning. So mechanical reasoning are things like, for example, the pulley system. Remember the gears. Those are those gears, those blocks, those things that work together in a car. Poles. So how they are moving. For example, if this one is moving this way, how this one is moving in which direction, and you are given the what do you call this? The ABCD question answers. So you write ABCD in the answer sheet. Remember, you are given the answer sheets also. Yeah, so that's mechanical reasoning. Another example of mechanical reasoning, as you can also Google on YouTube, you can say mechanical reasoning aptitude test. You can get it there. So another example is the beam balance. For example, they put here 6 kg, and then they put another one 2. They tell you which one is how much is remaining, so that they can balance. So you can say, if the 6 on this side, then you are given 2, and then you remain with 4. It's very simple, but too many questions, and also you can be confused also, because there are so many, and the answers have much similarities. The answers have much similarities. Yeah. So that is it. That's the final one, which is now aviation. And this one, what they were testing your ability to be taught and understand something. And for this one, it was advantageous for people who had aviation background, because it was aviation. And for somebody who didn't know these things, this aviation thing, it was hard, because you are taught and then you answer immediately. So many questions, very small time, a very minimal time. So if you are pre-exposed to aviation, then it was much better. So the fifth one, which I'm talking about, is instrumentation. So there in the cockpit, there is the instruments. There are around 5 instruments. Number one is the altimeter. It shows the altitude. Another one is that shows direction. It shows how the inclination of the aeroplane. So all those instruments. A speedometer, is it speedometer or something that shows the speed? So all those instruments. So you are taught how they appear, how they work, and then after you are taught, and then we were given the freedom to ask all the questions that we had, so that we are comfortable, so that everybody is in the same line. After that, you are given questions. So this one, we were told, is the determinant, because if you pass this one on instrumentation, and you maybe you didn't perform well on the other ones, you can be considered, because it shows that you are somebody who can learn something quickly. So remember, all these questions, all these tests are testing on different things. Yeah, one is ability to be taught, accuracy, speed, ability to follow instructions, that, and composure, speed. Yeah. So that is it. So the first one is matrices. Second one is general science, maths knowledge, mechanical reasoning, and instrumentation. Yeah. So that's what we did in the aptitude test, and it was so. Hey, when you were there, I don't know what happens anytime in the interviews. Everybody, there is that tensing is normal. Like, you can tense a little, even if you are brave. You can tense. There is that thing that comes with you with any tests, especially when you are applying to high level jobs like these ones. And then number two is that you tend to get confused a little bit, and then your mind, this the determinant, especially when you're looking for a job too much. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, so you are coming out there, a lot of pressure, you're tired, your mind was overworking. It was tough. It's always tough when you are inside. You are inside. But make sure you just do the right thing and you prepare. Make sure you also, if you get interviews of these types, just spend your around as long as you've been called for the interview. From that day, keep on revising, and it brings your pressure down. It gives you more confidence, and at least when you go there, you at least you know something. Yeah. So that's it. I thought that I should share that with you, and I know that it's going to help somebody. An aptitude tests. Yeah. So thank you so much. Be blessed. Bye bye.